Hey, what's going on, guys? Drama 22, taking a look at one of my leagues. This league is not really a pure sim league, as some guys would say, but I use the defense that I think you guys can use in the in sim leagues. But it is a little bit, some people will probably say there's aspects of some of the blitz game that people will use in competitive leagues. But I think the main thing is I wanted to use a defense that can compete against guys who are kind of competitive, and that's what this league is. It's considered a league that's considered sim or fair play, but guys are going to kind of run up the score and do certain things and kind of take advantage of the glitches in the game a little bit. Not to a point where it's like unbearable, but it's not a place where in this league where guys are sticking by rules like no strafing and things like that. And I'm sorry, they're not strafing all the time. They're running around like chickens with their head cut off on defense. Offensively, you're going to see high-powered attacks, maybe taking advantage of certain auto motions and certain plays, certain routes that are just glitchy. So it's a little bit of that. So I feel like this is a good defense. Not a good defense. It is a defense that is kind of adapted to what's the NFL game now, where people are trying to either take a shot or throw a screen, right? They're either going to try to take a shot or get the ball out quick to somebody. And that's pretty much it, right? The art of the drop back pass game is a little bit gone. So this defense, and remember, it was also a defense that is really good against supposedly the Shanahan style system. It's supposed to stop the run and take away some of the deep shots. The intermediate game, it can give up some plays. The short game, it can give up some plays, but there's a little bit of a guessing match. And I think when I played in this style of defense, I really felt like at least I had a shot to like take away what people wanted to do with scheme. So what do I mean by that? People want to run the ball. Coming out in the penny front was really nice. Didn't matter the formation they were in. It pretty much shut down a lot of the interior and stretch run game. I won't say stretch all the time. Actually, the 6-1, the 4-3-6-1 is supposed to stop the stretch. But in general, just the basic interior game, and people want to run traps, dives, inside zone, things like that. It pretty much stops that and discourages that. Even with the formation, it discourages it, right? So penny is big. And we use the penny defense where the safety is kind of like that extra linebacker, right? That's our user. And then when it comes to the passing game, everybody loves to throw deep shots. And with the idea that we are blitzing probably 5 majority of the time, sometimes 6, or we're using some simulated pressures where it feels like we're bringing 5 or 6, or we're just taking the middle linebacker, the 3 receiver hook player, and sending him and dropping everybody else, it makes the quarterback have to hurry up his clock. He doesn't want to hold the ball. And if he does, he's going to get hit and get sacked. Okay. So I think that's something that made me feel good. And then some of the throws to the flats, some of those shallow throws, because we're playing cover 2, we're putting somebody in the flat a lot. We're playing cover 6, cover 9, trying to take away some of these compression sets. And then also bringing cover 0, just bringing the house against compression sets. It made offenses' lives tough. Now, I did use cover 3 buzz a lot in this season, probably more than other people, but other people as in more than Flores maybe. But I think you need that in the video game world to kind of get that. You guys remember my video? I don't know if I really talked about it in a while, but just playing cover 3 buzz and playing hard flats and using one of the safeties is one of my favorite ways to take away the constant shallows and mesh routes and things like that you see, okay? All right, now I'm showing you this defense to show you the guys I got development, because if you're playing in the CFM world and you want to know like what are the primary positions, well, this middle linebacker, when I traded for him before I ran this defense, he was actually a star. He got superstar during the season, and then at the end of the year, he got development to get to X Factor. So he was a guy who was that middle linebacker, the one linebacker that's basically off the ball in the penny package, right? And that's big because his stats, I'm gonna take a look at it right here. His tackle for losses, right? 14. I'm pretty sure that's tops in the NFL in my league this season, right? We're done. We're in the off. We're in the postseason right now. Just so you know, I lost my first round game, but that's all right. Sacks 7.5. So that's really huge. Interceptions 8. Right? So like he is the man. Like you need one middle linebacker who can run and hit, and you can pretty much let the computer control him, and he's going to just become a beast for you. Okay. So you can see he had a really nice season, high number of tackles. I mean, look at him compared to the other place when he was in Carolina and whatever that guy was doing with them, right? I'm not sure if he played a full season down here, but this is a much different player, right? So that gave him into the season development based off of stats. He's one of the better middle linebackers, right? Ironically, I wasn't expecting this. Now, I know this is a 4-3 defense. I'm using it kind of like a hybrid 3-4. But this player here, Greenlaw, is my left outside linebacker. This is the guy that dropped into coverage most of the time. And if I'm not mistaken, did he actually go up also, get development? Yeah, he went up to X Factor as well. He was a superstar already, but he went up based off his stats to X Factor. So let's take a look at this real quick. I haven't even really, this is my first time looking at it with you. Okay, I mean, he had a really good year for me in my other defense as well. He was always on the field, but he was playing, you know, with Fred Warner, who I traded. I traded the other linebacker for Fred Warner, with also for some corners and draft picks and stuff like that. So ended up being a nice trade for me. But right here, I think probably looking at it is, I mean, he had 4.5 sacks. So obviously he's an edge player. He is going to rush more than he's used to. So this is where you would like a guy who has more pass rush. But he had the good, I thought he had more interception. This is where I'm actually surprised. This to me is an average season. I'm actually surprised that he went up and actually had a pretty good year. But this is going to be your player. That left outside linebacker is going to be the guy who needs to be your most athletic guy. So if you are going to run it out of a pure 3-4 system, just make sure he can pass drop, okay, and he has some speed. Now, the other outside linebacker for me is a true edge guy. I used my right defensive end for this, right? And he was he got superstar from a practice drill, so it wasn't a case. But he it wasn't based off of end of the season, but he also was ranked up there, one of the top rookies for me this year. He pass rushes more, so let me just make sure that's accurate. Yeah, he has 8 sacks, right? No interceptions. He's pretty much the guy that pass rushes 90% of the time, almost, I feel like. In the Minnesota system, he's more like, what's it called? Is it Gennard or Greenyard, whatever his name is? Ginnard. It's Greenard, I think it is, right? He's that guy. I think I forgot his number. He's the guy that he made the Pro Bowl or whatever. The other linebacker I just showed you is more like Van Ginkel, where he can play off the ball, he can play on the ball. He's kind of like that jet, that Swiss Army knife, okay? So that's kind of like just the defense in general. Now, let me just take a look at Bosa, because Bosa was in a weird spot for me. So just so you know, the way I did it during the game in the penny package, right? I moved, but Bosa was playing that left end spot. He would be a 3 technique sometimes, right? Which I know that's not sim. This is not really built for that. You would want a bigger body, like 280, 290 guy, right? I just got away with it because, let's just be honest, this dude's strong and can do everything, right? But I wasn't really paying attention to his sack numbers, because a lot of times when he pass rushed, he was coming from a weird angle, like the 3 technique, and he had to work outside, and he would never get there, I feel like. But let's just see real quick. Sacks. We're going to spend more time on this. He still had 11 sacks, so that's actually the 3rd highest he's had in his career. So that's pretty damn good. The thing that's probably interesting is, because he played a 3 technique sometimes and had rushed over the guard, right? Which didn't help his ability traits, because ability traits is an edge rusher. But when he did go outside, and my nickel defenses, some of my other defenses where he's naturally on the edge, he didn't have any resistance built up, or there was no resistance for the offensive line. So he would just dominate right there. You know, he also had some good traits on 3rd down, but it kind of allowed him to kind of basically play 2 different positions without changing his position on the field, if that makes any sense. So I actually am wondering if building this defense out of a 4 down, making it like a 4 down, 4-3 hybrid, kind of like the Patriots, where you have this would be like your Richard Seymour type. This would be probably like an interesting way to take a look at it, okay? The most athletic guy here. And then let me just show you on the depth chart real quick. We're almost done with this, guys. Won't be too long. I do want to get into the actual defense some more. So Haywood, and I had Hargraves. Those are the guys. These are 2D, and so I would just sub in for the right defensive end spot in the penny package. I would put a defensive tackle there. I would usually just put Haywood there, and then I had a good DT here. He's not here right now. He got cut, but he would be there, right, at the other DT spot. So I would be working with like 3. These are the 3 big body guys right here that would take up the inside. But you want a guy that, if Haywood had to be on the outside rushing as a 5 technique off the edge, it's okay. obviously Bosa rushing off the edge, it's okay. So sometimes when I slant my line, I usually kind of sometimes slanted it to Bosa's side just to make sure he became a 5 technique, right? I'm a heavy 5, which is like he's not wide. He's kind of like right off. He's almost off the outside eye of that tackle. And then the guys that were off the edge was Bosa, but Bosa was usually rushing. Greenlaw was usually dropping. And like I said, Wallace is the Swiss Army knife. So that's the defense right there. Now, real quick, Brown was the real kind of like piece that I wasn't expecting, right? When you run this defense, just so you know, make this guy, whoever is your strong safety in your depth chart is going to be your guy in Penny. He's going to become the nickel. So that's the most important thing. And you want to make that change. You want to put that here in the depth chart so you don't, when you're on the field, you're not making too many substitutions manually because it's annoying. Just trust me, work on that later. But Brown is a guy that I actually tried to trade. Nobody wanted Brown. Why? Well, in most standard leagues, he's slow. He's actually 86 speed, but I haven't given him a speed boost of 2 because of my CFM coaching. But he's still slow. Like, this isn't fast at all. And I mean, in real life, he isn't this damn slow, but whatever. So what do you do with slow safeties? Usually there's a lot of good ones out there that can run, that can hit and do stuff, but you know, nobody wants them. Well, this Penny package is perfect for him. As long as you protect him and don't have him playing palms over 3 receivers or doing things where he's playing man over the slot, he's safe enough to play quarter flat, curl flat. You know, he's safe enough to play vertical hook. That's pretty much it to blitz. And if you have, thank goodness, my abilities actually I got with this guy by accident, he has flat zone KO. So when he's actually a flat defender, he knocks the ball out, which is a really nice thing. So that's something that you want to take a look at if you can. He has also strip specialist, so he makes plays when he's making tackles naturally. So this is a guy that you can make in your defense. Now, the thing you need to have, though, is 2 other safeties that can run, who have speed, because those would be your other safeties in the package you need to just have. All-around players who are good, like Hufanga is a good example of that, right? He's a good fit for this defense. 91 speed, 91 zone. Obviously, he's a high-end player, right? This is a guy who can play anywhere. Now, I'm not saying you can't take Hufanga and make him the nickel. If you have 3 guys that can run and hit, but leave Hufanga as one of your deep safeties, and then make sure you have a 3rd safety that's one of your backups. Like I have here, his name is Cine, or Cine, I don't know how you say his last name, but this kid here is just a backup type special team player, but he's really fast speed burner, right? 90 speed, 92 accelerated here, and he can run and hit. So you can see the big thing, right? 9 speed, run and hit, speed, run and hit. Everything else will build up. That's what we want. So that's, to me, is important in the defense. You got to have that. The nickel is actually not that important, but you do need to have decent DBs. I actually have really good ones who are on the bench right now. These guys are all decent players. They're all good at playing man because you're going to need to play some man. All right. So I just want to give you guys just an overview of how to run this out of 4-3. If I showed you the stats real quick, you would be like, all right, where are we at stat wise, right? For the year, we ended up, look at the defensive stats when they come pulling up here. But we were pretty good against defensive yard. We were in the middle against yards. So again, this is like a bend but don't break defense. We're going to give up some yards to not give up touchdowns and points, right? And you see where we are there. Defensive points allowed, 6. That's where you need to be, all right? And that's what makes the defense good. You're not going to be sitting there like, shutting offenses down completely, but you will frustrate them and not let them probably score more than 21 points. That's kind of 24 points. That's like the max that you're ever going to give up, unless you just have a really bad day, okay? All right, so that's that. Now, before I do leave you guys, and this is just a kind of a re-preview of the defense. This defense is originally built out of the 3-4, okay? So that's what like the Vikings are built on. So you can run this out of the 3-4, but again, I would just be very smart about, I'm going to show you MLG right here, where I built the defense with the Dolphins, who are already a 3-4, and just the players that we have here. This is the best way to do it, but just be careful. And I've had a lot of sims in this league, guys, so don't even look at the record. There's been a lot of crap going on right now. I haven't played well, and it's really, the defense has been fine. So my offense is, I have a little bit of a situation going on, but again, let's just look at this lineup here. This is a true 3-4 lineup, and this is how you would build it day one. but I'm going to think about maybe making it a true hybrid. So I have 3, right? Big body guys, right? These guys are all in the same mold. 280, 290, can move, are strong, 3-4 guys, right? When I say they can move, I'm talking about guys who have like 70 something speed, 70 plus acceleration. Sealer, sorry, he's been bouncing around from DT to D end. These are 3-4 guys. You see what I'm trying to say? Like 89 strength, 79 speed. You see that? Like guys that can move. So when we do some of our line twisting or just like some quote unquote my stunts that I try to do with the game right now, they can move, and I feel like they're athletic and they can move, and that's good. This kid right here is the special player at that left end spot, Horn. He is a stud. He's a drafted player, rookie, 287, right? So he's just big enough. This is what I talked about, having like that Seymour type of guy from back in the day. All right, but look at his ratings, right? Pretty good for a rookie. 88 strength, 79 speed, 81 acceleration. He's that perfect tweener, right? I got to build up his power moves and stuff like that. But even though he's only rated low, this is the type of guy you want to have, right? I'm going to upgrade his power moves and have 2 points right there. Trust me, look how big and long this guy is. This is the type of guy that's really a monster. He can play 3 technique off the B gap, or he can walk out and become like a walkout, but he can move out to that 5 technique and be an edge rusher for you. So that's important, okay? Okay, so the defense overall, the linebackers here, these 3 linebackers, Ellis, he's a free agent. Rookie, I think, not very good. Free agent guy. Like, the only guy that matters is the guy in the middle, right? The first linebacker. He's going to be on the field all day. And this is exactly the type of guy you want, right? 87 hit power, 88 speed. Looking at the real basics, I know there's more than just speed and hit power. But if you don't have that, then you're not going to be great in the defense. I'll take a look at what his stats are right now, but actually we won't look at stats because there's been so many sim games, it's not going to reflect the defense. But this is the big part. So I have Chubb as that outside guy who's going to rush most of the time, and I have Chop Robinson as the dropper. Don't really love that, to be honest with you. I don't know if Chop is exactly the guy. Let me take a look at the stats real quick. Obviously he has great speed. His zone coverage is 51. Right? That's not good. So when he drops back in coverage, it's like, he's just a body who can move, but he's not gonna be able to react to anything, right? But this is the problem with using just a 3-4 pass rush team that's really based out of like, this team is based off of really bringing 5 most of the time, right? And you need to do that. But that's where we're at. You can see I actually got Metellus, right? He was a free agent. Nobody wanted him in the Madden world, right? 89 speed, 81 hit power, whatever. But he's the guy who's my starting strong safety. He's the guy that's going to play that nickel position in the big nickel, the big penny package, okay? And that's that. So I just wanted to show you that. Your corners, it kind of seems like they really don't matter. I ain't going to lie. I didn't get any awards for my corners. You might want to go with zone corners, to be honest with you. We're actually going to be in zone more than man because man isn't that good. But maybe it's best that when you do play that cover 0, you don't want to have guys who just get their ass roasted. But it doesn't matter. Really, man is not that good in the game in general, so you can kind of get roasted no matter what. You can see Javon Holland. He's a good player. He's going to be that guy who's playing one of the deep safeties. He might come down sometimes. But this is what the team looks like. And you can see this is not a great defense overall when it comes to talent, but it's good enough that I think when I play people, I could take some of the best players in this league and hold them to like 21 points or less with just that type of skill, okay? All right, so I just wanted to show you. Start with the 3-4, make it a hybrid, but you might want to, you're not dead if you want to play the 4-3. You just have to have some special players at some of those spots that we talked about, it, right? All right, guys, I think personnel is so important. And with me actually like working the defense, so now that when I talk to you about it, I can go through, I have a million clips here that when I put together this defense, this will be the first time I'll do this. I'm going to go through and actually like go to my media gallery, and you'll see here, I have like so many clips from games, and I'm going back, months of game clips, of 15-second clips. And when something happened, good or bad, I usually clipped it. Most of the time bad, because I think you can learn from some of the mistakes, right? And I'll be able to, but we'll take a look at it together, guys. Hope you guys like this. Just kind of give you an overview, give you guys a little bit of a preview of what's going on with this defense. I look to try to just go through it this weekend and just give you everything that I know, how to run a D, how to run this defense, Um, I don't know how long I'm going to continue with it. Like in that league I showed you with the 4-down team, I don't know if I'm going to run it next year. I might try something else. But with the 3-down team, I'm going to continue to run it. And I have a lot of 3-down teams. I have 1, 2. Yeah, don't worry about all that. We're just going to keep working. All right. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Let me know. Talk to you later.